And good afternoon. Welcome to We Believe Digital Newsbreak Show. Friday, 2 p.m. We're glad that you're joining us, broadcasting live from downtown Jackson, Mississippi, in the heart of the very deep South. Alongside my co-pilot is the one and only Socrates Garrett. How are you, good sir?
I'm doing extremely well, Chris. How are you?
It gets no better than this, Mr. Garrett.
Good.
We're just rolling along, 79 degrees here in Jackson. We're finally going to get some rain coming in tonight. And wouldn't it be great if we just get that Mississippi River filled back up?
Yeah, you know, the mighty Mississippi has been reduced to a wimp. You know, you can walk across it. Of course, up in Minnesota, I guess you can walk across it up there anytime you want. But the mighty Mississippi is suffering now.
We reported a couple days ago that the water level at Greenville was down over 10 feet, and they found some sort of a shipwreck that nobody had known about really close over towards one of the banks.
Oh.
And then these boys were getting all excited because they found what appeared to be a Civil War belt buckle, and they were just all aflutter about that.
Oh, okay. Well, the ocean and the rivers are giving up their history.
Yes.
They're telling their stories.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Well, we sure got some stories today, Mr. Garrett. You know, we got a World Series going on in baseball. I know we got baseball fans out there.
Yeah.
And we want you to give us a call, 1-800-492-5186. We want to be your go-to media platform, WeBelieveDigital.com. But last night, a 3-2 finish, and Houston really was the last night up there in Philly, and Houston came through with the victory, so they're ahead now. 3-2. They'll be back go back to Houston for Game 6 tomorrow night.
Yeah, I saw the catch out in center field, I guess it was, up against the wall.
Yeah.
To save the victory. It reminded me of the days of Willie Mays.
Oh, yeah.
Willie Mays was my favorite baseball player, even more favorite than Jackie Robinson. Willie just had so much flair and so much style with the basket catch out in the center field.
Right.
First time I'd ever seen that.
Well, and my Red Sox didn't even make it into the playoffs this year, so
Wow.
I think I always take the underdog, you know. So I'm going for Philly since my team can't be in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got another story on a national level. Oprah Winfrey, you know, a week ago said no. I don't want to get involved in predicting these races and endorsing people is what she was saying. We'll let the good people of Pennsylvania decide. Well, she changed her mind on that yesterday, and she put her full weight behind John Fetterman, who's the former mayor in Pennsylvania in the Senate race. And by doing so, she really snubbing Dr. Oz, who she had given him his start on TV, which just turned into a really big deal for him. And she said that there's issues of integrity and transparency. And so she went ahead and she said that if she lived in Pennsylvania, she would have already voted for Fetterman with her early, or cast in her early ballot.
Wow. How much weight does Oprah have?
Well, I think we're going to find out. I'm curious to see because that race is a pretty close neck and neck kind of race, so we'll see.
Okay. You know, Oprah's from Mississippi.
Kosciuszko,
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Right here. Mississippi just gives up the talent. Everybody else claims it and takes it and molds it and turns it into the empire that she has. But her humble beginnings came right here from Kosciuszko, Mississippi. And so if you're listening out there today, Oprah Winfrey, come home sometime. Spend some time with your homeboys down here in the South, those of us who didn't get out.
And we'd be glad to have you on the show, Oprah. Believe me, we'd be glad to have you on the show.
Yeah.
We'll roll out the red carpet.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Rhodes, back to that Mr. Garrett, back to that January 6th thing. The Oath Keepers founder, this guy named Stuart Rhodes, he's on trial right now for conspiracy to commit sedition or something like that, some kind of old time that they haven't used in a long time. But somebody played a tape in there of him talking to somebody the day after January 6th. And this is the big white guy with the eye patch.
Yeah.
Went to Yale and was an Army paratrooper till he got hurt in an accident or something. And he says we should have brought rifles. We should have fixed it right then and there. He said he would hang Nancy Pelosi from a lamppost. And my goodness gracious, some of these people just have a really hard time accepting the outcome of an election.
Well, I had to look up the word sedition.
Okay.
And you dropped it on me there very quickly, and I wasn't exactly sure what it meant. But, I see it's conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch.
There you go.
So this is what the old boy was doing.
This is exactly what he was doing.
If sedition is the right word.
Yeah, this is what he was doing, all right.
That's what he was doing. Rebel against.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, we can't take these people lightly.
Yeah.
When they attack the White House, attack the fabric of this country.
Yeah.
Put a real threat against democracy. You have to take.
I have to take that real serious. And I was just thinking with a Yale diploma from Yale, he's probably really, really smart. And so when he gets to prison, he could help a whole lot of people. He could be running educational courses and teaching people.
I wouldn't want to be in his class, but you say when or if he gets to prison, is that likely to occur?
I think that's very likely to occur.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and then shifting over to another person that's really large in our public life, this Elon Musk.
Elon.
People estimate, sometimes I watch that CNBC channel, those people talking about finances. Mostly it's over my head, Mr. Garrett, but I try to learn from it. And they say he paid exactly twice. At $44 billion, he paid exactly twice what they figure Twitter was really worth.
Oh, I don't know how you know what a company like that is worth. I really lost the ability to evaluate companies when e-commerce came in, the internet came in. No longer was it backed by bricks and mortar or land. So that and cryptocurrency and TikTok and all of this stuff, I don't know how you do valuations on that.
I don't, but there's experts in every area, so this is what they estimate anyway.
So what did he pay for it?
$44 billion.
44
billion.
Billion.
Yes, sir. And the people on the finance channel, they say really he paid twice as much as they estimate.
Well, he really wanted it.
He really wanted it. But now he's he laid off the board. He laid off the board of directors on day one, and now today is supposed to begin the layoffs. They have 7,500 employees, and supposedly layoffs begin today. Some people estimate that he could lay off half of the employees and got a total of 7,500.
Oh, you have any idea the annual revenue of TikTok?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
I do not.
Okay, so I don't know if he's downsizing to.
Well, this in Twitter, and now advertisers, enormous amount of advertising goes on Twitter, and now advertisers, because of the way he's done this, taking over the company so abruptly, getting ready to fire people, dismiss the board right off the bat.
Okay.
The advertisers are starting to pull back, and he's trying to appease them. And it doesn't appear that it's working. So there's a lot of chatter on Twitter about, is this platform even going to be a thing here before too long?
I thought he purchased TikTok. Did he?
Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, you get your news straight here. Those of us out there that thought he bought TikTok, we've now been enlightened.
Well, there's so many of them going around. It's easy to get it confused.
Yeah, I wonder when someone wants to buy We Believe Digital, give us a call out there. We have a young broadcast studio that's making waves in the country, and we can talk to you a little bit shy of 44 billion.
Well, yeah, just a little shy of that. And, we've communicated with Byron Allen too, Mr. Garrett.
Yeah.
We didn't hear back, but do you know, is rumored right now that he's going to make a bid to own formerly the Washington Redskins football team, and they're now called the Washington Commanders.
Oh, okay. That was a pushback against the Indians,
Right.
the Redskins.
Right.
Nomenclature being used associated with football teams.
Right.
Well, down at Alcorn, we still use the Braves.
And in the baseball too.
So I guess Braves
Cleveland
is
Indians.
okay, but Redskins went too far.
Apparently, and maybe it's the degree of platform, because you got NFL versus an HBCU in Mississippi.
Well, words mean something.
Yes, they do.
And so, I'm told that we had a very popular local TV anchor right here in Jackson, Mississippi, that recently used some words that were very harmful and hurtful for the black community. And so I don't know if you plan on talking about that or not, but
yeah,
it certainly is a topical conversation going on in our community.
Yeah, we talked about it on the Wednesday show in depth, but yeah,
Did you?
She was white anchor, longtime anchor Barbie Bassett. I want to say 30 plus years or something. And apparently this is not the first time, when you get digging around a little bit, apparently not the first time this has come up. But, talking on air to a young African-American multimedia journalist, Carmen Poe, wonderful young gal. I've met her several times out in the field doing stories and so forth, and talking to her about maybe, she could go bribe those guys over at the college game day, stop on over to Kroger's and get some chocolate pie and bring it over there and be really nice to them, so they'll tell you who the guest picker was going to be that day, which turned out to be Stephen A. Smith. And she said, I know your mother or your grandmammy, your mother or your grandmammy's probably got some recipes. You could bring them a pie over there. And as she was saying it, the two other guys on the set are saying, "Really, Barb? Really? Grandmammy?" Right there on the spot. Of course, Miss Poe kept right on going. So there's backlash in the community. There's a lot of people writing the regional Ted Fortenberry, writing Ramona Clay Alexander, the station manager over there at the Fox affiliate. I know the NAACP is taking a stand on this, issuing a letter. So where is that line where, you want to say, some people, Mr. Garrett, they want to say, well, it was a mistake.
Well, I think the line is there. Clearly, people make mistakes. But a person in that position has to have total control over what comes out of their mouth.
Yes.
And you never have to apologize for something you did not say.
That's right.
And so I understand that the National Association of Black Journalists are looking into this. I talked to a longtime friend of mine, Kathy Times, down in Florida. I know that she was talking to people to see if she could be of some assistance with training and sensitivity and things of that area, work that she's done all across the country. And I listened to the commentary of Mr. Fortenberry last night, and I really couldn't get anything out of what he said.
I missed that.
He indicated that he was talking to long-term members of the NAACP. Well, I think he ought to be talking to young-term members like the People's Poor campaign, where you're going to get real feedback. And so I think that he could have indicated that she had been suspended, is on leave, absent, or terminated, or something more stable that says that we got a problem and we're addressing the problem. I don't know if that means the person needs to be fired, but I do know that the person needs to have been set down for a period of time so they can get their thoughts together and clear their head and their mind of things of that nature.
Anything short of that, the message that you're sending not only to the public, but to all the other African-American employees, that becomes a hostile work environment when you know that stuff is going on and management's really not addressing it beyond having conversations or discussions. I mean, what do you think the first thing a African-American staff member thinks when they walk into that studio and see her after she said something like that?
Well, it's tough. It's tough, and you can get over things, and you have to. You know, you can't stay in that same ditch forever.
Right.
But it requires some sensitivity training. It requires, improvement and discussion in the workforce. And the issue that other African Americans, prominent African Americans like Howard Ballou and Maggie Wade, who were staples in this community, have now found themselves in a compromised position.
That's right.
Because you can't speak out against something that you know was awfully wrong because you're employed there.
Right.
And so, this whole thing creates a problem for the entire community. Yeah. I'm very, very saddened that this happened.
Me too. Well, let's that's a good point to just take a break now and take a look at these commercials, and we'll get right back to you.
Let's read and learn together. Meet Mason. Written by Sherry Tate. Illustrated by David. Mason is a young, inspired learner. Walk with him as he uses his 5 senses to explore the world around him. Your young one can learn to identify shapes, numbers, letters, and more with Meet Mason. Available now on Amazon.com.
My name is Wendy Wilson White. I am a candidate for Hinds County Circuit Court Judge District 2. I was born here and I stayed here. I'm a graduate of Provine High School, Tougaloo College, and Mississippi College School of Law. I've been practicing law here in Jackson and Hinds County since 2001. I have 21 years of trial and courtroom experience, and for the past 8 years, I've been prosecuting crime. I'm running for Circuit Court Judge because I want to redefine justice. We don't deserve to feel unsafe on the streets of Jackson and Hinds County, and you don't deserve to see your families and loved ones killed. We deserve to have a judicial system we can all believe in, and you deserve to have a judge who will hold people accountable. People who live with mental illness deserve fair treatment from our judicial system. We need to educate our children about crime and how they will be held responsible for their actions. We deserve to see our children grow old. They should not be defendants or victims of crime at such early ages. You deserve a judge who is fair and impartial, experienced, and dedicated to the places you and I call home. I want to be the difference our city, county, and court deserve. On November 8th, I need your vote. Please vote Wendy Wilson White, www. Hinds County Circuit Court Judge, District 2.
The Mississippi Link an African-American female-owned newspaper with a trusted voice that is highly respected throughout the city, state, and nation. Our motto, keepers of the knowledge for people who speak the truth, since 1993. Significantly influences the thoughts, attitudes, and buying decisions of its readers. Call us at 601-368-8481 for your advertising needs. If you would like to receive a newspaper in the mail each week, our annual subscription is only $52 per year. That is only $1 per week for you to stay informed regarding many stories that you can only get in the Mississippi Link. Sign up today at themississippiLink.com and click on Home Delivery.
Back to We Believe Digital News Break. We're glad you're joining us today for our second and final segment. Mr. Garrett, this Democrat Shuwaski Young challenging Michael Guest in the 3rd Congressional District. You know, so much effort has been put in, so much money has been spent to try to shift this congressional district blue. Is there any hope of that, or are we saying the wrong thing if we even ask if there's any hope to that?
Well, turning Mississippi blue is going to be like counting the grains of sand in the Sahara Desert. It's going to take you a while to get that done. We are entrenched and bold in our conservative posture in the state of Mississippi. And that in itself is why we are last in most categories, because our strength is in our diversity, but yet we won't recognize it and won't embrace it. Oh. So I believe Mr. Young is an African American.
He is.
I wish him well. I respect his courage to put his name on the ballot to run. It's an uphill pull, uphill climb, but someone has to say that we must try. And I see his candidacy is just making this statement that we cannot sit idly by and not say anything. So I really wish him well, and I congratulate him on being the Democratic nominee.
Right.
And from there, you know, just keep on pushing.
Well, I'll definitely get a chance to vote on Tuesday for him. You know, we're only 4 days away from the voting. Another thing too, this Sunday, Fallback Sunday, and we want to remind everybody to check their smoke alarm batteries at the same time you're setting the clocks back in the middle of the night on late Saturday night. I mentioned again, the flu shots are available now at the county health department. So if you're not getting your flu shot through your primary care process, or you don't have insurance, go to the health department and get a free flu shot. They're fully stocked and ready to go throughout the whole state right now.
Yeah, I actually got my flu shot yesterday.
Okay.
My arms are still a little sore from that. There's so many shots, you know. I was talking to my healthcare provider, and we were talking about the shingles shot. We were talking about the flu shot. We were talking about the pneumonia shot. We were talking about the COVID shot. And I said, hold up a minute, Doc. Hold up a minute.
Yeah.
I said, let's do one today. Now, you choose, but I'll take one today. So she chose to give me the flu shot. And so later on, I'll get the others done in sequence.
Down into the county, Mr. Garrett, and really close by to this studio, Walgreens has announced that they're the store right up here at the corner, closing on November 14th, so just 10 days from now.
Walgreens?
Walgreens right on the corner.
I just told my provider yesterday to send my prescription there.
Well, it's still going to be in the data banks and everything, but again, I'm sure she'll get that done within the next 10 days. But you're going to need to find a different store after that. It'll be in the Walgreens network, but and of course.
I mean, I don't get that. There's not another drugstore in this area.
Right. The closest other one would be over there. I think at the corner of Fornication and State Street.
That's quite a ways away.
It is. A couple of miles. Yeah.
Yeah. And so with the medical mall here, they see their doctors right there in the medical mall.
Yeah.
It's convenient to have a drugstore right there on that corner.
And that's exactly what our illustrious councilperson, Kenny Stokes, he was on talking about that, and he said, we got people over here and 90, 100 years old, and they trust that farm. They trust when they go over there, they're going to get handled the right way, and to have them close like this without any kind of rationale or reason, it was rumored there had something to do with theft. But I just saw a clip before we came in here of Councilman Stokes complaining about it.
Well, I agree with Councilman Stokes. We have a full development that's going on right down the street on Livingston Road. Some 100+ houses that are designated to go in that area, and this community needs a drugstore. No doubt about it. Well, maybe this is an opportunity, and for those of you out there, African American pharmacists, it's time to step up. It's time to step up and say that we can put our own drugstore in our own communities. And it doesn't have to be a chain or Walgreens or CVS. The old-fashioned corner drugstore that was run years ago in the very beginning, even with a soda fountain and popcorn, if you will. But it's an opportunity for someone in our community to look at opening up a drugstore in that same spot. That's an ideal location. Now, maybe Walgreens was offered a large amount of money because it is such a popular spot. But if they're leaving because of the community being 99% African American, or because of crime, or because of anything like that, I think our city leaders need to come out and speak to that and advise the community what the real cause of their departure is, because it could be a trend. And we see so many trends now, like water wells. And so I would hope that the mayor would speak to it, and people are real concerned.
Yes, sir. And along those lines, you just mentioned the water. Pardon me. WAPT reports that Millsaps is now looking at building 150,000 gallon storage tank over on their property. Want to try, and so we can add them to the list, because we have that new situation over at the fairgrounds and with the water and the ag cowboy Andy Gibson, he wants to, he's saying that give me this $8 million or something, and I'm going to build this up, and so that the whole downtown, now I heard him today say the whole downtown could have a backup supply. And I hadn't heard that before. Before it was, we're going to take care of the state fairgrounds. But now he's talking a little bit of a different language. So somebody got him to remove his blinders a little bit. And then, of course, the city of Byram is trying to back away.
Well, I don't know if he's removed his blinders or not.
Okay.
And I think we have to have smart people that are making these decisions. And they have to be smart in that they understand the historical perspective of water. No, I grew up in the country in Madison County, where we had well water in the very beginning.
Right.
We grew up on well water. So we know that you can find the water table and the water will come up. But it wasn't clean. And there was never any treatment done for it to make it clean. And so it's my understanding that the Environmental Protection Agency is mandating that we go away from surface water, from wells and things of that nature, to go to water treatment facilities where you can actually test and treat and keep the water clean. Now, I don't think you're going to get that in the well. And the other thing, and this is just a little history lesson for those out there that are listening. There was once a part of the continent of Africa where we had the Cedars of Lebanon.
Mm.
It was called the Cedars of Lebanon, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
That means there were green cedars everywhere you went. It's now, Chris, called the Sahara Desert.
My goodness. I never did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out, Chris.
Yeah. I've heard the Cedars of Lebanon. You think, well, that's the cat's meow.
Yeah.
But it went the other way.
Went the other way, but it didn't go the other way on its own.
Mm.
See, Chris, when the Africans built the pyramids, many people believe that they were built to become extravagant tombs for kings and queens and royalty.
More to it than that.
Yeah, some believe that they were actually part of the irrigation system.
Wow.
Because if you put enough pressure on the earth, strategic pressure on the earth, you will bring the water table up, Chris.
Wow. Wow.
And then once you pass through the first water table and you begin to penetrate the next water table, and if you exhaust that supply, then you're going to get yourself a desert, Chris.
Right.
And so I'm not saying that the wells in Mississippi will turn Jackson and Byram into deserts.
Yeah.
But I am saying that it was technology that we have gone away from.
Mm-hmm.
And my doctors tell me that water, especially for people on dialysis, needs to be clean,
Yeah.
needs to be pure.
Yeah.
And I don't believe you can do well with that type of supply in that environment.
No, sir. I get it. And Byram's saying that they plan to put up some $22 million or something to try to, and they're talking about 4 different wells in Byram, $22 million.
Well, again, vision is a terrible thing, you know, and the lack of it is even worse. Byram is a growing city.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If it's going to invest in its future and in its growth, it would need a better supply of water than wells. It's just got one little problem, Chris. There is no natural supply of water.
Mm-hmm.
You see, Byram doesn't have a reservoir. There's no water in that area. The few lakes that are down there, Lake Cavalier, etc., they are banks. That's not enough.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't have that. So when it comes to drinking water and treating your wastewater, where are you going to discharge to?
Right.
There's nowhere to discharge to in Byram. So you can expand and you can run from Jackson all you like, and then you'll end up with all of these honey trucks that's running around trying to clean the septic tanks.
You're not going to be better off.
You're not going to be better off.
Yeah.
And so we have to think about things before we up and say, I just want to get away from, what a great day to be away from Jackson.
Right. Got to think that through a little bit.
Think it through, Chris.
Mr. Garrett, just a few more bit on here about Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
Coach Prime has given us so much.
Yeah.
We want to share a little stuff. A lot of speculation about this this vacancy over at Auburn. And he said that he's told everybody, I'd be happy to listen to a Power 5 offer like Auburn. But he said the reason I would listen is because it keeps the attention. He said, all my life I've been getting talked about and being in the headlines, and I'm good with that. He said, it doesn't faze me at all. But by doing this right now, he said he's keeping HBCUs and their coaches in the spotlight. So I thought that was pretty cool. And also, remember, we mentioned Stephen A. Smith earlier. He was what they call the guest picker on College Game Day. Maybe like Lee Corso used to do there. So, well, he followed up afterwards and reported back to Jackson that 2.3 million people were tuned in to Jackson, Mississippi for that final hour of College game day. It was less than that earlier in the broadcast, but the final hour that they broadcast from that parking lot over there outside the vet, 2.3 million people were watching.
Well, Coach Prime just has done what effective leaders can do. It just shows you that it doesn't take an army to change the world. It takes a person with a made-up mind.
Field general.
Takes a field general with a made-up mind with no turning back to make a difference.
Yeah.
Coach Prime
That's him.
Reminds me of Hannibal, the great African-American general that was marching his soldiers, 2,000 soldiers and 800 elephants around the mighty Alps, and he knew he didn't have enough supplies to go around, so he sat up atop his horse and he said to his soldiers, "Behold the mighty Alps." Said it 3 times, "Behold the mighty Alps. Behold the mighty Alps." And then he said, "I see no Alps, forward march."
Wow.
And they went across the top of the mighty Alps with 2,000 soldiers and 800 elephants, Chris.
Like
that's
a
what
knife through butter.
That's what the leader, his dedication and commitment to win will do.
Wow. Well, certainly, Coach Prime says, "I believe." And here at We Believe Digital, we believe. And we're just sending you our very best for as you head down there to Houston to take on Texas Southern with your 8-0 record, heading down to Texas Southern tomorrow, 6 p.m. game down there. We wish them well.
We wish them well.
And well, thank you for joining us, everybody, for this throughout this week and today on Friday. We hope you have a great evening this evening and a great weekend, and stay safe out there.